film. It was awesome to have it here as a world premiere. Thank you so much. First, what I would like you to do is mention your name, your role, and an interesting thing in the movie that you experienced or you're proud of or something we might not know. So here we go.
Well, I have to think about that, but my name's Joseph Zentil. I directed, co-wrote the film. Thank you, everybody.
I'm Dylan Arnold. I played Andy, and an interesting thing about me that I learned during the film is I learned how to ride a bike, and that was pretty cool.
Hi, my name is Ambyr Childers, and I played Julie in the film. Something interesting I learned about myself is,
Or about the movie.
or about the movie. God, you put me on the spot. That's a tough one. You know what? There were some really funny moments, as dark and sad. There was some really beautiful moments that actually make me laugh, and I love that about the film. So, good job, Joe.
I'm Shane Callahan. I played Roddy. I think I learned I'm not 30 years old anymore because I remember fighting with Dylan, and there was a point where my thighs weren't working, and I straddled across them, and the tape was over, and I said, "Dylan, I'm sorry, man, I can't get up." He went, "That's all right, man, that's all right."
Hi, I'm Csurgo. I'm a co-writer and producer. And I will say what I learned is that it takes a miracle to make a film. But we did it, so.
Thank you so much. I'm wondering, it was a story of great desperation, and it's played out it's in Kentucky, and I'm wondering if you picked the place to write a story like that, or if the place and its history picked you. I'm just wondering how that worked. So I can hand it to you, or Joseph. Okay.
So, the selection of the location, I always had in my mind that the story took place in proximity to Nashville because of the Tabitha character, and she represents a path for the Andy character that he could follow, and ultimately he doesn't choose to go down the path, but it represents a life that he could have, but he has to forge his own identity and ultimately make his own decisions, and that's what his character arc is about, and that's the revelation he comes to at the end of the film.
Yeah, I'll also say while writing it, we certainly had a few, just I think a circumference around Nashville in mind, but then when we actually got to go location scout and we landed in Paducah and met our other producer Brett Woodall there, I think Joe and I looked at each other with Eric, our other writer, and just said, this is the town that we wrote. And it was, like many moments in this film, incredibly serendipitous, but yeah, we wrote a story that about a town that we didn't know existed and then discovered it in real time.
Thank you very much. And so we're going to go to the audience. Are there any audience questions? Yeah, the timing of the film from writing to getting here on the screen.
The short answer is 8 years. It started because I was, every year I go on a ride from Grand Rapids up to Upper Peninsula, Michigan. And that year I just had bad luck. My bike broke down. And I ended up in the chase truck with Eric Kinsey, who he's like, hey, I got a movie idea, let me pitch it to you. And 8 years later, we finally made it to the screen. So it was not a linear process. It was a lot of ups and downs, and obviously it's an incredible hurdle to get a film financed, especially an indie film, and especially a challenging indie film that's very bleak and takes place in a bleak town. And as Pierce said, it's nothing short of a miracle that we made it happen, and everybody involved was just so gracious with their time and efforts, and it truly was a miracle.
Thank you very much. Any other questions from the audience? Yes.
I'd like to ask Dylan, Amber, and Shane, how did each of you prepare to play the characters, which I'm sure are very different from how
I didn't fully
you
hear it.
realize.
Did you guys hear it?
How did you prepare?
How did you prepare to be your character, for three of you?
I mean, I feel like it always starts with the script, with what they, what they've given you, and then you try to mold it through, your lens of the world. And it was a very collaborative experience, so I think a lot of that was finding it on set. And what's great with filmmaking is that you get to be in the environment, and you get to really, be there and experience. The environment is a character, so once you put on the wardrobe, I feel like it all just kind of comes together. So I feel like it's just constant discovery, constantly kind of searching for it and hoping you find something that works.
Damn, you took my lines. No, I mean, exactly what he said. I'd just like to, for me, the process is really immersing myself. And let me tell you, I fucking love Kentucky. That place is amazing. I love Kentucky. And that definitely helps just being in the environment and being around people who are super artistic and collaborative. And, Joseph let me put tattoos on her, and I walked in the strip club, and the carpet was that print, and I was like, let's make that fucking tattoo. And so they did. They made that tattoo for me, and I was super grateful. So little things like that really helped me dive into the character, and of course, working with Dylan and Shane and everybody, it's just, it's such a beautiful artistic process, and it's never ending, right? You are continuing, learning things about your character as you go on, and you try to bring that to work every day, so.
Yeah. The wardrobe definitely, at least in Madonna, right? Man, you never know in any movie when you get in and she had all that shit ready to go and it fit. And once you got that on, it was kind of like, okay, all right, I see where this and that helped slide into that a lot. And then you guys had called Roddy. There was a little bit of something we roll with too. What was it? The Elvis from Hell. Yeah, that's and not Yeah. But just knowing some pricks from Titusville, Pennsylvania, where I grew up, that were kind of like that. So, feeding off of that.
Thank you. Any other questions in the audience?
The palm tree painting, the sunset in the office, was that a nod to Scarface?
Yes, very much.
Let me just repeat the question.
Definitely. That was our production designer's, Helen's idea, and she very much pitched it to me as a nod to Scarface, and it didn't take much to convince me to agree to that. But also, it does foreshadow the idea of Julie making it to Florida, and the idea that, Dylan's character might also eventually make it there. And when he gets to Nashville and decides to keep moving, I think it's a safe assumption to say he's going to go meet up with his sister. So I think it sort of represents like a final destination as well. Yeah, full circle, exactly.
Thank you. There was another hand up. Would you like, yes?
So what would be some movies that were inspirational to you when you decided to make a movie? And also for everybody, I'd like to know what scene was your favorite?
Okay, favorite scene, and that could be for all of, that probably be different. For Roddy hit somebody, it might be more favorite than to Andy, But favorite scene and inspiration of films for this film?
Well, I just went on a huge Abel Ferreira, Paul Schrader marathon, and I watched pretty much their entire filmography, both of them. And that was how I sort of prepared. It was very much stylistically in line with what I wanted to do, and I sort of wanted to pull intentionally from that as a reference. But I think we had another hang up when we were editing the film. We kind of hit a wall, and I discovered a film called The Limey by Steven Soderbergh. And that film had really interesting non-linear editing and stuff. Actually, Jamie, our editor, is sitting right there. He screened it for me, and he's like, I have an idea, and I think this is gonna inspire you, and man, it fucking did. I really love that movie, and it sort of became a major source of inspiration for completing and editing the film, so I hope that answers.
I don't know, I had a very good time making this entire movie, but I think I really enjoyed the fights. I think that's you know, it's always fun when you get to work with, like, the stunt team was incredible, and, you know, a way of kind of telling a story through the fighting and making it look messy, and as much as you probably didn't like it at some moments, you know. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I mean, I think that it's getting scrappy and it looks sick, and yeah, I mean, but I really had a great time the entire process.
You said you like the place. We hear, I don't know quite, can you describe, can somebody describe the place, what it was? You know, we saw some things, but, you know, it's the bar and stuff. Can you describe the place a little more? Yeah, we're curious about that.
I don't know if I'll do it justice. The muscle of America, you know, that's what I think about Kentucky, Paducah, Kentucky in general. The generosity from the city, you know, what Brett and Tom pulled off was unbelievable. People opened their doors, dang. And that's really refreshing. You know, we're just here to make art. And so for people to allow us to step into their cities, you know, those LA people, it's really a beautiful thing, and I personally, and I think I can say this on behalf of everyone, super grateful for that. So.
What was your favorite scene?
Oh, I love the last scene where you're riding off. There's just something so poetic and beautiful, and it kind of just wraps the movie emotionally for me in one shot.
What were the questions you can? Favorite scene? Oh, yeah, like a favorite. Well, my favorite scene is probably when I've forgotten a lot of the other stuff that I forgot that you give him the bike, and I was just like, oh man, you know. That became my favorite scene watching it. Like I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, so I mean, when Joe and I took on the writing process after Eric had done his draft, we spoke a lot about Place Beyond the Pines and Sound of Metal and these like very like intimate character study films, but took place in like very gritty worlds. So like when I think about this film, I think we sort of like use bikes and bike culture as a vessel for, you know, ultimately like a character study and to see like get access to, you know, just the internal worlds of these people that you know, you would otherwise think might like end up in like a thriller film or something like that. And so for me, like I think my favorite scene of the film, although there are many, is when we see Julie come to say goodbye to Andy, because I think it's just so much is revealed in that scene, and I mean, you two just did like such a phenomenal job together. Just and there's so much that, and you know, to Ambyr's credit, that line of I love you, but I don't like you, was totally ad-libbed on the day, and that, yeah, I just think that like contains so much of that relationship. So yeah, that was, I think, my favorite scene.
We're getting somewhat close toward the end. I'm curious, Roddy, you know, you wore a cross during the movie. Did you feel, you know, you had a cross there and you didn't quite live the Christian life? How did you feel about that?
I mean, you know, I guess, I mean, we probably know some people out there that just wear some shit like that just to make them feel like they're not gonna go to hell. And, probably was given to him at a time maybe where he wasn't that way, but he just kept it on with the hopes that he knows he's going. If just in case.
Yeah, thank you very much. So your movie is gonna play again, and it's playing on. I have it a Tuesday at 12:35 in the Alamo, and you know, you guys worked really hard, 8 years to get this on the big screen, and I think it's now a little bit of our job and your friends and everybody to promote the film if you loved it, share it. You have a T-shirt. Does everybody have a T-shirt? Yeah, they got a T-shirt. That's really great. Wear it around town and tell people about the film. And it's thank you so much for supporting Cinequest, supporting you guys. I would love to. Does anybody have a closing thought they really would like?
Never ride out on the road you came in on.
Thank you very much to all of you. We got 8 more days of Cinequest left. We really appreciate it. You also know how to vote for the film, cinequest.org/vote. And sometimes the QR code pops up. Please do that. And we really, really appreciate it. One more warm hand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And maybe somebody even wants to sign the T-shirt, that would be